better. No, I'm good.
And friends and family, it is a Wednesday edition of Bet. Tyler Fulghum and Anita Marks with you. We've kind of flip-flop sides of the screen that we're normally on here, but a happy Wednesday. Welcome to this edition of Bet. Sorry we're on a little bit late, but thank you for joining us, especially if you're on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ESPN Sports Betting. We have a jam-packed show, Anita. We got golf, we got baseball, we got hockey, we have the NBA. So let's dive right in because we have no more time to waste. We're going to kick things off with a little reaction or no action. You know the name of the game. You know the rules. I'm going to say or read a statement. You just give me a reaction if you agree, or a no action if you disagree, and tell me why. Let's start in big league baseball. How about the New York Yankees? You get to see them almost every night being up there in NYC. Anita, they're off to a great start this season at 34-15. The Yankees will go over their current win total of 101. Keep in mind their preseason win total was 92, so they're tracking well above that. But if I said over 101, reaction or no action?
Reaction. Like you said, I'm here in New York. This team doesn't know how to lose. It's really unbelievable. You know, they start the season, they're kicking butt, they're taking names, and then all of a sudden, a few injuries, the lineup doesn't look the same, the rotation isn't necessarily 100%. Donaldson gets suspended, Chad Green needs Tommy John, Chapman's on the IL. But Tyler, they continue to win. They just find ways to win. Judge is looking for that big payday after the season. Nasty Nestor, who's pitching tonight, is dealing. This team doesn't know how to lose. I'm going reaction here.
I'm with you, Anita. I'm reaction as well. You mentioned all those people that haven't yet contributed. Then they're taking guys off the scrap heap, like Matt Carpenter. Nestor Cortez has turned into the ace of staff, not Garrett Cole, although Cole is still pretty good. Judge is just tearing the cover off the ball. Imagine if they get guys like Stanton going at that level, DJ LeMahieu, who's won batting titles before. So this team's just got a lot of talent. The fact that they've won the way they have so far without being, you know, kind of the best version of themselves. And the fact that the AL East maybe not as formidable as we thought going into this season. Toronto hasn't quite lived up to expectation. Boston has been hit or miss. Tampa Bay is, okay, pretty good. Baltimore's still bad. But the rest of that division may not be as good as I thought it was going to be for this summer. And the Yankees are vastly exceeding expectations. So I agree with you. Reaction is the way to go there. Let's go now to the association. We, of course, have an NBA Finals we will handicap a little bit later in this presentation. But for the purposes of reaction or no action, how about this prop for Game 1 tomorrow night? The Celtics visiting the Chase Center will be the first team to 20 points Thursday night. Reaction or no action?
I'm going to go reaction here, just for the mere fact that, you know, Boston, they're only on 3 days rest, right? So they come in, they've been playing, they're ready to roll. Meanwhile, the Warriors, they haven't played since May 26th, so maybe they're going to come in, they've got a little rust. And I think we're all in agreement here, right? Like Boston, we saw them have that slow start against the Miami Heat, and it did not bode well for them. I think they know, especially against this Warriors team that shoot lights out from behind the arc, they need a fast start. So I'm going to go reaction here.
I'm going to go no action here, Anita. I need more candy on that price. Plus 105 is essentially a coin flip. If it was plus 125, plus 130, okay, I'll dabble with you. But since it's only plus 105, since the Warriors are only a small favorite here, I'll go with the Warriors because I think that rest advantage is actually going to help them at the start of this series. Their guys are going to be much healthier, and we know how dominant they are at home. They haven't lost a single gosh darn game at the Chase Center this postseason. They're 9-0, a plus 14.4 net rating, meaning they outscore their opponents by almost 15 points, 14.5 every 100 possessions. They're dominant at home. They're more well-rested. I think Boston can get back into that game and or the series, but I think for both micro and macro in Game 1 and the series, the Warriors are the team that starts fast, so I am no action here. Finally, let's move to the ice before we welcome the Puck Daddy into the presentation. The New York Rangers, another team right in your area. I'm sure the city is buzzing as the Blue Shirts are getting ready to host game one of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Anita, they are a plus 155 series price underdog to upset Tampa Bay and advance to the Stanley Cup Final. What's your reaction or what's your no action to that statement?
I'm going to go reaction here. You know, this is a Rangers team. They're coming off of a Game 7 against the Canes on Monday. Meanwhile, same analogy that I used just a second ago when it comes to the NBA and the Golden State Warriors. The Lightning, they swept the Panthers, so they haven't played since May 23rd, even 3 less days. Is that even a sentence? Than what we're seeing the Golden State Warriors come back from. On top of that, the Rangers, they're great at home. Home ice is big. They've only lost once at the Garden, and Igor Shesterkin has been a man possessed in the regular season, 3-0 with a 96% save rate against the Lightning. So I'm telling you, there is a chance. So I'm going reaction here.
I agree there is a chance. But it's no action for me. I think the Ning are just an absolute unit. I mean, Anita, the fact that they are the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions and they've made it here to the Final Four in the NHL, and the fact that they are a big favorite in this series and a favorite on road ice in Game 1, you're right about Shesterkin. He's awesome. He's amazing. I still think he's the second best goalie in this series. The big cat, Andrei Vasilevsky, already has hoisted Lord Stanley's chalice twice over his head. He's every bit as good statistically as Shesterkin. The thing is, he's actually done it on this level multiple times. I think it's going to be some fun hockey for this series, but I think ultimately the Lightning prevail, which is just amazing, the run they've been on in recent postseasons. So hard to do, but I'm not going to step in the way of that terrain. Plus, they have Patrick Maroon on their team. Big Patty Maroon, Big Rig. All he does is win Stanley Cup titles now, no matter what team he's playing for. That's why I'm going to bet on the Ning in this series. Maybe Anita, our good buddy, Greg Wyshynski, the Puck Daddy, can help us figure out what to do here. He joins us now live on Bet as he gets ready for Game 1 at Madison Square Garden between the Lightning and the Rangers. And Puck Daddy, as I was just mentioning, despite the fact that the Rangers have home ice, they're underdogs at home in Game 1. They're big underdogs in the series. Anita pointed out the fact, though, that the Ning haven't played in 9 days. So considering all that context, how are you telling us to look at and play Game 1 tonight?
I agree. I think the layoff for the Lightning is a very big deal, and the Rangers played Monday, so they're very much in their rhythm right now as a team. So my play for Game 1 is actually a first period under. I'm buying into the idea that the Igor Shesterkin versus Andrei Vasilevsky matchup is going to be a stalemate, at least for one period. The Lightning have been under in the first in 5 of 6 road games. The Rangers have been under in the first in the opening home game of each of their first 2 series. So I like the under in the first as the play in Game 1.
So the Oilers, they missed their 2-point conversion last night, right? So they lost 8-6. Oh, what a bummer. In all seriousness, though, listen, you were on my radio show. We talked about this series. We both liked the over, but did you have any idea that, I mean, it would be 14 goals? Unbelievable. Looking ahead to Game 2 and the series beyond, should we just play the over at 7 each and every time they hit the ice?
Yeah, there's a prevailing wisdom that it's going to contract for Game 2, that all of a sudden it's become more defensive. I ain't buying it. If you remember the Edmonton Oilers game against the Calgary Flames in the Battle of Alberta that was 9-6, the very next game was 8 goals on the total. So it's not like things contracted for the Oilers after their last big blowout game. The Oilers have been over 8 goals in 6 of their last 9 games in the playoffs. And keep this in mind, too. Goalie Darcy Kemper's status for the Colorado Avalanche is in question for Game 2. We might see some changes in goal for both teams. So I think playing the over is the smart play here as these two teams continue to pour the goals on in the Western Conference.
Suited and booted and ready to get things kicked off on the ice. That's the Puck Daddy Greg Wyshynski joining us for this Wednesday bet. He is at Madison Square Garden. Puck Daddy, enjoy tonight's game. We'll be catching up with you again soon as these postseason runs continue in the NHL. Now, on the hardwood, we are to the final matchup in the NBA season. It is Game 1. It'll take place Thursday, but doesn't mean we can't look ahead here on Wednesday to how we want to handicap Game 1. The Warriors, so dominant at home, a 3.5-point favorite, a total of 212.5. We know both teams can play really good defense. That's especially the strength of the Boston Celtics. But as we alluded to, big rest advantage for the Golden State Warriors, and there's still some players that are dealing with nagging things on the Boston side. So, you tell me, Anita, as far as Game 1 is concerned, how are you looking at handicapping the matchup tomorrow night?
All right, so I'm going to play the Warriors -3.5. I'm going to lay the points. I'm also going to play the under. Last I checked, it was 212.5. I believe it still is. Here's some interesting trends for you, Tyler. Number one, Golden State 28-8-1 against the spread. Their last 33 games at home against teams that are above 500. Also, 13 straight home Game 1 wins in the playoffs with Kerr as the head coach, and oh, by the way, a point differential of 15. So, two trends that definitely bode well if you are like me and you're looking to lay the points. And for all the reasons we talked about a little bit earlier in the show, right? Like Boston coming in, only 3 days rest. So rest advantage, kudos to the Golden State Warriors. We know how great they are at the Chase Center. They just don't lose there. They're shooting 37% from downtown, 4th best in the NBA, 2nd best defense efficiency. I can go on and on. I'm being told to wrap all the reasons why I'm going to go Celtics and I'm going to play the under.
Yeah, I'm with you on that Celtics side.
I'm going Golden State Warriors in the under.
And you got me saying Celtics side as well. I'm in agreement with you on the Warriors side. Let me make that official. I agree with you. I'm laying the 3.5 points with the Golden State Warriors at home for those reasons you mentioned. They're awesome at home. I think, games 1 and 7 at home, big advantage for the Warriors. I think if Boston is to steal a game on the road, it'll happen in Game 2 or Game 5. But I think with that rest advantage, coming in more healthy, with the way they played at home so far, I love Golden State early in this game and early in this series. We can talk about later, maybe on Friday after we find out the outcome of Game 1, what we want to do for the rest of the series. But early, I like handicapping the Warriors to jump out to a 1-0 series lead and cover the 3.5 in this Game 1. All right, let's get to our favorite part of wagering on the association. It's the prop market, baby. I know, Anita, you're going to have a handful, a slew of props to throw my way. So Game 1, who you playing, how you playing them, and why, my friend?
Well, first and foremost, I believe that Curry's going to come out and just have a monster night. Listen, he's averaging 26 points a game. The over-under here is at 27.5. He put up 30 in his last game against the Boston Celtics, where he played 35 minutes. This is Game 1 at home. It's his time to shine. And keep in mind, this is the first time that the NBA Finals is going to be played in their new home in San Francisco. So I think Curry's going to ball out. Horford, I've been all over him, double-double. He's averaging 12 points and 10 rebounds a game. They're going to need his size. So I do expect him to get an exceptional number of minutes. And Wiggins, I've been all over him as well. Over 16.5 points. Why not? He's become the top 3rd scorer with the Golden State Warriors. He's averaging 16 points a game. He's shooting 48% from the field, 35% from downtown. They utilize him on the defensive side of the ball, but he delivers on both. So those are my 3 favorite prop bets going into tomorrow night.
All right. You know what? Very modest 3 from you. A trio. I thought we were going to get maybe like 6, 7, 8, but okay. I like it. I like all of them. Just saying I was expecting about double that. I'm going with just 2. It's a matchup between these two, and they kind of correlate. Marcus Smart and Steph Curry. I'm going to go over 24.5 par for Marcus Smart. He obviously is going to be on the court as long as Steph Curry is, because you got to match his minutes so he can play defense against Curry, something he's been very successful at in his career. But we know Smart's not afraid to also shoot the rock if he gets those open looks from downtown. So if he's making his threes, I like him to score, 15 to 20 points. Even if he's not, he's a guy who can facilitate. He's a guy who can collect rebounds. And I do expect him to play about 40 minutes, if not more, each and every night as he tries to match those minutes with Steph Curry. Of note, he's 35-1 to win MVP of the finals. We think his defense can be a big reason why the Celtics win this series. And then Steph Curry. If Smart is so good defending him, which we have all seen the stats on Twitter and on different shows he is, I think Curry may turn into a little bit not all of, but a little bit more of a facilitator and playmaker, especially when the Warriors are at home and you can rely on those role players to find the bucket a little bit more as they shoot at the comfort of their own rim. Bottom line, Steph Curry is someone who can pass the rock. He had 8, 9, and 11 assists the last 3 games of the Dallas series. If Smart is hounding him on the perimeter, or if Ime Udoka decides to send doubles at him, he's very capable at passing to an open Klay Thompson, an open Jordan Poole, an open Andrew Wiggins. So 5.5 assists, something he cleared easily each of the last 3 games in the Dallas series. As long as it's not a blowout and he's out there for his 40 minutes, I think he can go over that in Game 1. All right, Anita, let's turn to the Lynx because we have a great event that's starting Thursday at Muirfield, Dublin, Ohio. It is the Memorial Jack Nicklaus's tournament. And while it is not a major, Anita, it certainly has a major quality field. And the Memorial, after it's been redone, has turned into a major caliber course. It is hard. It is long. It is going to test these golfers. Par 3, you know the drill. Step to the tee box and give me your 3 favorite bets for this weekend in Ohio.
So a few metrics that you need to be paying attention to if you want to play some golfers, right? That hopefully will do well this week. One is driving accuracy. The other is green and regulation, and scrambling. So let's start with Schauffele. I've got him finishing in the top 10. Throw some coin on him, possibly to win as well. His game has been better as of late. Slow start to the season, but he's got a few top 15s here at Memorial. He likes this track a lot. Driving accuracy, greens and regulation, he ranks in the top 10 and also top 20 in scrambling. Give me Fitzpatrick to finish in the top 10 as well. He finished 3rd here in 2020. He's sporting 6 top 10s, 2 top 5s. He's ranked 5th in strokes gained tee to green, and also he is 3rd best on tour in scrambling. And last but not least, give me Lowry. He played well here last year as well. He finished tied for 6th. His flat stick has been hot. Putting is going to be significant as well, and he is top 5 in scrambling. Weather conditions are supposed to be nice. He usually, dominates the field when the weather conditions are great, but I still expect him to finish in the top 20 at even money.
I like it. We actually are going to have some crossover with our par 3 bets. The only name that you didn't mention that I'm going to is Cam Smith. I love the Aussie. I feel like no one's talking about him heading into this week. I like him at 30-1 to be the first round leader. Now, you can also get into the top 10, top 5 winner mark because Cam Smith is that good. Bottom line, though, Cam Smith usually starts hot when he plays in a tournament like this. Think of the majors at Augusta, or think of the majors, also the Masters at Augusta, where he's always near the top 5, top 10 to start. But this season on tour, he's number 2. Number 2 on tour behind Joaquin Niemann, I believe, in terms of first-round scoring average. He has the all-around game to play at this event and at this course. You need to drive it accurately. You need to hit greens. You need to have a deft short game. You need to score. He does all those things. He's number 3 in strokes gained total from tee to hole. Number 3 on tour this season. So he's got the game. Love him at 31 to be the first-round leader. And then a couple of names that you mentioned. Matthew Fitzpatrick, top 20 for the reasons you mentioned. Another person who has no weakness in his game. Usually plays better when the course is hardest and the field is deepest. Love him at even money to be a top 20 finisher. And then the X-Man. I'm going to pick Xander Schauffele to win. You mentioned sprinkle a little coin on X-Man. His game is coming around. He, too, is a big game hunter. When the course is hardest, when the field is deepest, at majors and high caliber events, Xander usually shows up, and his game, as you mentioned, is rounding into form. He is one of those tee-to-hole players that has no weakness in his game. So we like Fitzpatrick and X-Man together. I'm sure you like Cam Smith, but it's par 3, so you had to limit yourself to just 3 selections there. Let's not leave the Lynx, though, just yet, because it's not just the pros, Anita, that we're going to see tee it up this weekend. Today, in a few hours from now, just about a driver and a wedge away from me in the Daily Wager studios at the Wynn Golf Club, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers teaming up to take on Josh Allen and Patty Mahomes in the match. Now, the old heads, the veterans, they're a pretty significant favorite, minus 190. You see the young guns who probably, with their howitzer arms have that distance, but not quite the tight game of a Brady and a Rodgers. Are you willing to throw a little money on the young pups, the underdogs, or do you think that the old guys are the way you need to go when handicapping the match?
I'm going to go with the young guns. And I like the odds. Why not? Listen, the reason the old fogey quarterbacks are favored is A, Aaron Rodgers has the best handicap out of the four. He's a 4.6. Tom's an 8. Josh Allen's a 9. Patrick Mahomes is a little over 7.7. And also, Tom and Aaron have been here before, got the free t-shirt. They know what it's about. They know how the cameras operate. They're all mic'd up. But I'm going with the young guns. I just like the odds here. Man, grip it and rip it. Let's go.
All right. I like the price. I agree with you in that regard, but I'm going to lay the juice. I don't like usually laying anything close to $2, but I do think, especially since, to my knowledge, this is not a handicap event. They're not getting strokes. I'm going to take the team that is got the best golfer there. I think both Brady and Rodgers are probably better than Mahomes and Allen. So you 1 and 2 versus 3 and 4 with that experience. They get to golf more now anyways. Like Allen and Mahomes are still young, still developing their NFL career, still working towards Super Bowls. For Allen to be his first, for Mahomes his second. Mahomes is starting a family now. So, Rodgers, he doesn't have kids, He's got all the time in the world to golf in the offseason. Twani, he's won 1 million Super Bowls, so all he does is play football and golf. I'll take the old guys, even though I don't love laying the price there. The match, though, teeing off this afternoon down the Strip in Las Vegas. All right, let's wrap it up on the diamond, Anita, and yikes. Our diamond dollars run so hot to start the season. We have been plummeting in our checkbook here as of late. So we need to get back on track. Our May 25th recap, ugly, UGLY. Anita, your money line dogs, both a loser. O's versus the Yanks and Phil's versus the Bravos. Got 8 runs out of the Cubs and the Reds, I do believe. So that did not go over. Lost $12.50. So, Anita, you're down to $67.13. I'm still in the black, but I think I've lost about $60, $70 the last couple of weeks from my total. I'm sitting at 127. All right, help us get back on track here. We desperately need some green. What are your diamond dollar plays today?
I know. Listen, go big or go home. I need to get back. I need to win this money back. So I'm laying about 80% of my pot right now. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go $15 on the Phillies on the money line over the Giants. They need to avoid a sweep. Nola's pitching his last outing, 12 strikeouts against Atlanta. Rondon, of course, is on the bump for the Giants. He's 0-3 his last 3 starts, and the Giants bullpen ranked 4th worst in Major League Baseball. I'm going to go $10 Nola over 6.5 strikeouts as well. And last but not least, I talked about nasty Nestor Cortez here in New York. I'm going to go over 6.5 strikeouts against the Angels. He's got a 30% strikeout rate. He averages 7 strikeouts a game. And he also only gives up 2, if not less, walks a game as well. So I'm going to put $10 on nasty Nestor over 6.5 strikeouts.
I tell you what, you are not afraid. You are not afraid, Anita Marks. Down to $67. You're risking, $35 here? So let's go Phils and Nola. Let's go Nasty Nestor tonight. We need you to get back on track. Need a win there. I love the gumption, the fortitude to go big when you're down. Got to win big, or want to win big, got to bet big. So I am going to try and get back on track with just one wager. Okay, just one wager for me to break the tie. I don't quite have the fortitude you do there to jump out of the plane, no parachute, but I did notice a trend, or I have noticed a trend with this Houston Astros team that for so many years we have we've imagined them as a really good offensive team, a team that puts a lot of runs up on the scoreboard, and they still have good offensive players. But their game environments this year have been under 76% of the time. The Astros have played 50 games. 38 of them have gone under the total. We have a total of 7.5 today in Oakland against the A's. It's Justin Verlander versus Chad Urban. So you imagine Verlander is going to do his job like he always does and stymie what is a really bad Oakland A's offense. I hope the Astros don't go nuclear against Irvin and the A's bullpen and throw up 6 or 7 runs themselves. If they just score 3 or 4, I think they can win this game 3-1, 4-2. We can go under the total. So a very modest wager of $12 or $17.50 to try and get back on track here, hoping that Verlander goes out and shoves, and just a couple of runs are all that is needed for whoever wins this game. 38 of the 50 games for the Astros have gone under the total. Here is our recap for our Diamond Dollars today. 4 wagers, 3 from Anita. She is going big, which I absolutely love. Phil's to win, while Aaron Nola strikes out at least 7, and then Nestor Cortez to have at least 7 Ks for the Bronx Bombers. I'm going to a total under 7.5 runs for the A's and Astros in Oakland. Verlander versus Irvin there. All right, we need to get back on track. It's been a rough go here as of late in Diamond Dollars. That'll do it for this Wednesday edition of Bet. Sorry for starting a little late, but thank you for staying late with us. Big thanks. Big ups to Puck Daddy, who dressed up for us at Madison Square Garden, site of Game 1 tonight on the ice in the Eastern Conference Finals. We will be back here on Friday as well. She is Anita Marks. I am Tyler Fulghum. Best of luck tonight in all of your wagering endeavors. We'll see you back here on Friday.